Hi. So, I just got out of seeing Greta Gerwig's new film, Little Women, and it was, for lack of better words, magnificent. I know that's really cheesy, but that truly felt like the right word to describe a movie like this. And there aren't enough movies like this nowadays. And, alright, so get some backstory. It just came to my attention. I knew somewhat about Little Women. I didn't know much about the book. It wasn't something that I read. Let me give him some more light in here. Yeah, that'll do. I didn't know much about the book or anything, and I didn't even know that there's actually several adaptations of this book. But from what I saw here, and like I didn't know anything about it, but from what I saw in this movie, it was fantastic. Like, I love this movie. This movie, first off, the cast of this movie is fantastic. Saoirse Ronan, Emma Watson, Laura Dern, and even some other actresses. I know their names, I just can't really pronounce them. But this movie was just great. There's some great aesthetic choices, and first off, Greta Gerwig, her first movie I think was Lady Bird, and I really did like that movie. It suffered from a few cliches that I wasn't totally 100% with, but otherwise I did like the movie. If I own it, that must mean I do like it, and I'll certainly be owning this movie when it comes out, because, just wow. To explain the plot a bit, is the movie follows a group of sisters, the March sisters. There's four of them and like their family, and the movie kind of jumps back and forth between a span of 7 years, and you kind of just see where the movie just kind of at the 7 year leap, like 7 years in the future. That's kind of like they're at like a low in their life, and then you see where everything was all bright and colorful all those years ago, and when they're like meeting all these people, and you can tell that their lives are completely different, and in fact more depressing in the future, because it's a lot of sad blue tones in the movie that just illustrate just how depressing life is now. And when you look back at their lives before all this happened, it was beautiful. It was like a lot of like cream lavish colors, like a lot of warm summer feel. Even in the winter, like in the seasons of winter, it had a lot of moments like that, and it was beautiful to look at, and everyone just excelled at everything they did. And not only that, this movie is probably the most emotional movie I've seen all year. Like, I haven't seen everything personally. I've seen some stressful movies this year, like Waves and Uncut Gems, but this movie was just so like full of emotion. Not even like there's some sad stuff, sure, but there's also a lot to there's a lot of moments that, like, you're just so engaged in these characters that like certain things happen and you just feel nothing but happy for them. And like, just certain things, like you're just going through the motions of like, there's a lot of little bits of happiness that make up for a lot of the depressing things that can happen in their lives. And the movie's not really that depressing, really, it's not. They're just kind of like holding in all the small factors that don't make their lives perfect, because, nobody's lives are perfect in this. There's a lot of small things they all go, there's a lot of big things to go through, but it's like the small little happy moments that this movie focuses on that just makes it so enriching. And it really is like that. And it wasn't like, I'm gonna admit it, that like I cried, like not just once, but like a lot. I cried a lot. Several moments where this movie cries, whether it's something that's sad, really heartwarming, just absolutely like just tears. And it wasn't just me. I heard there were like the row that I was in, there was like several people around me who were just like, and I'm like, yeah, it's hurting. This movie hurts, but it's so magnificently done. I know I keep using that word a lot, but just there's something just so wholesome about a movie like this. Like there's almost no bitterness. There's at least like one scene where where stuff goes to like an extreme. But I feel like the character, the scene, like in the context of that scene, it made sense for someone to be as angry as they were with this one person. But I'm not going to get into that. But it just felt like everyone else just feels so, like these actresses, the actresses who play the sisters, they're just amazing together. They work so well together. It's as if I really feel like when I watch them and they just talk to each other, the way they banter back and forth and all that, I really feel like I'm watching a group of sisters, like actual sisters talk to each other. Like, you know, sometimes they catch up, sometimes they fuss, sometimes they talk about boys, or some like, oh, you should go out with him, or like, oh, let me fix you up or something. And it's just absolutely, it's just adorable, really. And Laura Dern's in this movie too. There's a lot of things I didn't know going into this, and the cast, like, you know, they're great. Like, everyone in this movie is great. Laura Dern's great. Bob Odenkirk, surprisingly, in this movie. I didn't expect him. Meryl Streep is in this movie too. She plays like a smaller role, and typically I'm not a huge fan of modern Meryl Streep. Nothing against her, but like sometimes I do think she's a little bit, you know, she's a great actress, but sometimes I think she's a little bit awarded for things that she doesn't really deserve. Like she's good, but she's not like the most amazing thing as of right now. Like really, we gave her an Oscar nomination for Into the Woods. Like, are we that desperate? Yes, we were. But she was great in this movie. She played like she played their aunt, and like the Aunt March or whatever, and she was very strict, but also, you know, she did things, you know, she was strict with certain things because she cared about the future, because, as you know, part of it is kind of crumbling in some ways, because there's a lot of sad things that happen in this, that happen to each character. Each character goes through some sort of hardship, and it really shows, like, you just get so engaged into these characters that I just want to read the book now. Like, I didn't even know much about it. it's just, this movie was so good in so many ways. I don't even know where I'm going to put it on my best of the year list. It's definitely going to be in my top 10 for real. And I'm trying to think of so many things to say. Saoirse Ronan, you know what? She needs something. She needs some, like, award. Like, I think this movie got snubbed a lot at the Golden Globes, and that kind of, like, really sucks, because let's just hope they, like, do, like, give the movie some Oscar nominations and even some wins, please, because I remember a few years ago, Lady Bird was snubbed from a few Golden Globe nominations, but then they got nominated for Oscar. Like, Greta Gerwig didn't get a nomination for Golden Globe, but she got a Best Director nomination for Lady Bird at the Oscars, which was good. And I really hope that can translate to, you know, there's a lot of people around me. I hope that can translate well to the Oscars in this. You know, the Oscars are not the most fair things in the world, but I really hope we can see a lot good from this, because let me just say one thing about the wholesomeness of this movie is that when people are, like, mad at each other, they're not, like, really mad. There's just so much love and stuff to just embrace. And, like, you know, you don't really focus on the negative so much. And if the negative stuff does happen, it's cleared up in a way that's just kind of like, you don't want to let it bother you so much. Like, you just don't want to let it bother you. You just want to look past certain things. And because, like, life is too short to be, like, this is a quote that they said in the movie, life's too short to be angry at your sister. And that just, this movie, guys, it's amazing. I really, my girlfriend wasn't able to see it because she didn't really feel like seeing a movie today. And I'm trying to see a bunch of movies in such a short time because I work so much. But otherwise, you guys got to see this movie. It's still out. It's a 2019 movie. I kind of wish, I'm seeing a lot of movies, late movies of the Oscar buzz in early 2020. That's kind of just my thing because of my work schedule and all that. But if you guys have a chance to see this movie, do it up, because this movie's amazing. I was also the only guy in the theater who, I think I was the only guy in the theater who went. That wasn't probably because his wife wanted him to. Like, this movie was packed with women, and I haven't seen this many women in a theater since I was the only guy who went to go see Magic Mike 2. And that is a true fact. But yeah, so like I said, go check out this movie. This movie's amazing, so heartwarming. It'll make you feel things, man. This movie will make you feel things that a lot of stuff in 2019 could not make me do. So check it out, and you know, if you like it, let me know what you thought about it, and yeah, have a good day.